more laps.
Welcome to round 14 of the Banter Racing League on F1 2018, and we are here for the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. And Agonza took another pole position with a time of a 1:19.6, and he grabbed another pole. I don't know what number it is, but it's 1:19.687, and it's another pole position for the Spanish driver. The results of the qualifying in Italy: Agonza took pole by 700ths. Ivan was P2 for Haas. The Spanish won 2, then combined in third place for Red Bull. Red Bull won 3 in qualifying. Being too high in fourth, as there's a wet race, he used a wet setup. Lucky Racer in 5th for Haas, and ahead of Ventrox in 6th, and then Wesley in 7th. Vladimir Jacob down in 8th place. Savage in 9th, and the Boom Titan of Racing did not set a time. The Boom returned from his race ban, and Titan has returned to the league for one race.
Well,
I don't know why for one race, but
no, there's a
yeah. Anyway, here we are, about to start the formation lap of this Italian Grand Prix. It is a wet race, intermediate conditions, of course. Let's hope we have a good one here in Monza. Agonza leads them away on the formation lap. Ivan is P2, and let's see if we can have a nice battle between the two Spanish drivers, just like we had in Belgium. Into the first chicane,
need to know where to
and
brake.
yeah. So last time in Belgium we had a crash between Vladimir Jager and Ivan, which put Jager out of the race on lap 2, and we then had quite an uneventful race until Lucky Racer and Combined fought it out in the last few laps for the podium places, and it would end up being Lucky Racer getting the podium and grabbing P3 on the last lap of the race. Here we are with the Red Bull driver on screen, who is battling with Lucky Racer last time out in Spa. So Agonza leads down the straight on the formation lap. Ivan is P2 at the moment for Haas. Now we are watching Ventrox, and then we have Wesley in the Ferrari, who has Jager just behind in the Mercedes. Savage there in the Toro Rosso in 9th, and then there's the Boom in the Ferrari. He has dropped behind Titan on the formation lap. And there is Titan, Mercedes. And here we go into the Parabolica 4, getting ready for the start of this Italian Grand Prix in Monza. The fastest circuit on the calendar, not so much in the wet conditions, but still the fastest circuit on this F1 calendar. Round 14 of the season. And after Belgium, Agonza has a considerable lead over Jager. It's about 90 points. It's about 90 points or more. So it's a almost certain title for Agonza,
I'm really not confident.
Red Bull driver. Here we go, lining up on the grid. There is Ivan and Combined just behind Agonza. The Red Bulls are 1 and 3. Here we go. There is the Boom lining up at the back of the grid, and Titan as well. As we get ready for the start here in Monza, round 14 of the Banter Racing League. It's away we go for the Italian Grand Prix, and Agonza gets a good start, and he heads down to his turn 1 in the lead, and Ivan gets a pretty poor start, and Combined takes second from Ivan. It's a Red Bull 1-2 heading into turn 1, and there's a bit of contact there at the back, and Ivan has to go across the chicane. As now Agonza leads, Combined in second, a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. There's contact there more between Ivan and Ping Too High, and they're both off. They've dropped all the way to the back of the grid. Ivan and Ping have collided on the exit of the chicane, and the Boom is retired from the session. Reported that he hit the back of his teammate Wesley after Wesley lost it in the rain. So that's an unfortunate race on his return for the Boom, and Ping Too High has passed Wesley on through the exit of the second chicane, and there's absolute madness here.
What is he doing?
With Savage getting caught up in the action there. Ivan has overtaken him, and there's a bit of contact there with Savage and Ping, and Savage has let Ping through, and Ping is also sliding. So what's going on? Wesley's got back past. Meanwhile, Agonza leads from Vladimir Jager, who's gained 6 places at the start. 8th and has gone all the way to 2nd.
It
What
was
has
a
happened
bit
to
difficult.
Combined? Combined was in 2nd place and he's down to 5th. So something's happened to him there. But now, after the first lap, Agonza still leads after starting from pole position. Vladimir Jagger is in 2nd place. What a start he's made from 8th on the grid. Lucky Racer in 3rd place, also a good start from him. Titan has gone up to 4th place. And Cryptox is 5th place with Force India. And Combined is down to P6. Something has happened to him. Ivan is 7th for Haas, ahead of Ping Shuhai in 8th, then Wesley in 9th, then Savage in 10th place. The Boom is the only DNF. He has retired on lap 1 after hitting the back of Wesley. Here we go, watching Cryptox now, and now watching Ping. He's got Wesley and Savage just behind, who are battling it out for position. Ping Shuhai has Ivan as his next target. So, can Ping Shuhai make a comeback from his collision with Ivan on lap 1?
Oh, Ivan's coming.
Here we go, on board with Lucky Racer, coming down into the Lesmos, and Ivan's dropped places. Has he made a mistake? Yes, he has made a mistake, and Savage has passed him, so Ivan's at the back of the field. Absolute mad first 2 laps here in Monza. And here we go. Here we go with Ping Shuhai leading the pack for the battle for 7th. Wesley is there. And now Ivan has a slipstream on the Toro Rosso of Savage. He goes to the outside, coming down to the straight, and there's contact! They're both spinning on the straight there, and I don't know what has gone on there, but I think, well, according to that, Savage completely turned into Ivan. So, that's quite interesting there. I don't know what has happened between Ivan and Savage, but that looks like Savage's fault. But there's probably a bit of a lag involved in it too, because these two obviously are far apart, so it's kind of probably lag as well. So meanwhile, the battle for 2nd place, Vladimir Jagger is leading this battle for 2nd. Lucky Racer is behind him in P3, 8 tenths behind. He would be within DRS range, but as it's in the rain, we don't have DRS available. Titan is right behind them in 4th as well. And Combined is catching Cryptox after he had a little stake somewhere. Don't know what has happened to him. Here we go, on board with Lucky Racer in the Haas. He has got Vladimir Jagger up ahead, and the gap is 6 tenths. Agonza sets the another fastest lap at 131.6. And Titan, 131.8 I should say. Titan also sets the fastest lap. And here comes Lucky Racer. He's looking up the inside of the Mercedes of Jagger, and he does not quite, he's not close enough to go for the move there. Meanwhile, Combined is gaining on Cryptox. He is half a second behind him on the exit of turn 1 there. Ping Shuhai is alone in 7th place. Savage also alone in 9th, and Ivan down in 10th. A disastrous start for him. Meanwhile, here we are with the current leader, Agonza, 4 seconds ahead of the Mercedes of Vladimir Jagger. Then Lucky Racer in the Haas in P3, very close to the back of him. And Titan in the other Mercedes in P4, 6 tenths behind Lucky Racer. So this is a nice 3-way battle for 2nd place in this Italian Grand Prix. Here we go, coming down towards the Ascari chicane, and now Combined has got past Cryptox, and he's moved up into 5th place. Next up is Titan for Combined there, but I don't think he's going to catch him. And Combined has finally got past Cryptox there into 5th place. So that's 1 position gain from from a mistake that he's made somewhere. I don't know what has happened, but that is the Red Bull driver into P5. And now here is Titan in the Mercedes, slipstreaming Lucky Racer coming down onto the straight. Is he going to get him down towards the first chicane at turn 1? Titan gets another fastest lap at 131.7. And Titan has a slipstream, and now Lucky Racer has a slipstream on Jagger, who's very slow in the straights. Lucky Racer has a little look up the inside, but does not quite get the move on the Mercedes of Jagger. And now here is Titan looking to make the move on the Haas of Lucky Racer. Here we go, down towards the here we go into the Curva Grande. And now into the 2nd chicane. Titan looks up the inside into the 2nd chicane. Is he going to get into the podium places? Yes, he is. Titan goes on the inside and gets into 3rd position. The podium places. Now he chases down his temporary teammate, Vladimir Jagger, who's in second place at this stage. Remember, Jagger started in P8, and he got up to second place on the first lap. So it's quite amazing how he's done that. Here we go, on board with Combined off the start. Started from P3. Now let's see what exactly happened to Ivan off the start as well. Ivan just slowed down mid-straight, and Combined just got past him on the straight there. That brought it to a Red Bull 1-2. So that was a very good result briefly for the Red Bulls. And you can see Ivan going across the chicane. Maybe behind you can see the collision between Ivan and Ping. And yes, maybe just, not quite. And Jagger already up into P3 at that stage. We go on board with Ping off the start, starting 4th beside Combined. So he probably got a similar start to what Combined did. Yes, he is. Yes, he did. And he also got past Ivan, so it's actually a 3 wide moment heading down towards turn 1 there. Ivan got completely swamped between those two. And you can see a Ping actually locked up and hit Ivan. That's what forced him to go across the chicane. And Ivan has now actually made a sidepod glitch back into Ping's path, so both of them have caused their own collisions there. Ping locked up and hit Ivan off the track, and then Ivan rejoined the track and hit Ping into the wall. So both of them are actually at fault for their own incidents, for 2 separate incidents in a few seconds. On board with Cryptox off the start. He speeds past Lucky Racer off the start, and now Cryptox started from P6. Is now coming into turn 1, and he broke very early into the first corner. And you can see that Ping pushed Ivan off the track there, and here is Ivan pushing Ping into the wall there, and they're both off, and there's Jagger with a flying start getting up into 3rd. And there's Lucky Racer getting up into 4th place. On board with Vladimir Jagger off the start. Started from 8th on the grid. Let's see how his great start to the race went. Here we go, he immediately gets past Wesley and Lucky Racer off the start, and he gets into 6th place. 2 places gained already. And now into turn 1 he goes to the outside of Cryptox, and he went around the outside of him into turn 1 and 2, got past him there on the inside, and he got into 5th there, and he took advantage of the Ping and Ivan colliding, put him into the podium places within 2 corners. So what a start for Jagger in this race. As now here we go onto the straight, and this is probably how Combined lost all those places. Here we go into Ascari, and Combined he actually went straight on into Ascari, into the gravel. So that's how Combined lost 3 places. Actually 4 places. So Jagger went into 2nd place with that move, so quite interesting stuff there. Don't know what happened to Combined there. But now here is Combined's move on Cryptox into the Lesmos. And Cryptox actually pulled over to the side and let the Red Bull driver through. So that's nice and fair from the Force India of Cryptox. Letting Combined through there. Meanwhile, back to the battle for P2. We have Titan all over the back of his teammate, Vladimir Jagger, coming down into the Parabolica. And Titan is going to get slipstream on Jagger. Coming onto the straight. We start lap 6 for these guys of this Italian Grand Prix. Here we go, Titan has a slipstream on Jagger. Jagger's very slow on the straight once again. And Titan looks up the inside into turn 1. And not quite there for the Mercedes driver. The Season 1 BRL champion, of course.
But after turn 1... Oh,
he also drove for Mercedes, but also drove for Sauber and Williams as well in the process. Meanwhile, here we are with Ping in 7th place, Wesley in 8th, and there's Ivan still 20 seconds behind Savage, and Titan has got past Vladimir Jagger there into the 2nd chicane, just like he did to Lucky Racer. So Titan gets into 2nd place on the inside, and he's now going to try and catch Agonza for the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Combined is still in 5th place. He is all alone at the moment. And Ping too high now. On lap 7 comes into the pits for his first and probably only pit stop. He's going to change onto a new set of intermediates. And that's going to put him, obviously, behind Wesley. And maybe it could be very close with Savage coming around into the Parabolica now. and onto
Oh,
the
please
straight.
don't tempt me.
And Ping has just been released.
He's going to be...
So Savage now onto the straight, and Ping is exiting the pits now. And there is Savage. He's going to get past the Sauber of Ping Chuhai. Coming into turn 1. The Toro Rosso of Savage has got past Ping Chuhai there. Ivan sets the fastest lap in the Haas. And Ping has just spun there on the cold tyres. Ping on the cold intermediate tyres has spun out. And Savage has decided to let him past because he's not fighting him exactly. He's not actually fighting him today. So that's a good thing to do for Savage there. Meanwhile, Lucky Racer, all over the back of Vladimir Jagger.
Jesus
Once again,
Christ.
the battle for third place is back on.
What?
Titan sets another fastest lap of 1:30.9. That is a blistering lap. Lucky Racer has a slipstream coming down towards turn 1. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's not. Lucky Racer does not go for the move into turn 1. But can he go for it on the next lap? Lap 8 currently for these guys. Agonza still leads the race, but it's not by much. Only 4 seconds. Titan is running second. Then we have Vladimir Jagger in P3 for Mercedes. Lucky Racer all over the back of him. He has a little look on the outside into the second chicane. And Lucky Racer is currently in P4 at this stage. Combined is 5th place for Red Bull. And Cryptox in P6 for Force India. Ahead of Wesley in 7th. 13 seconds behind Cryptox. Ping Chuhai is in 8th place, then Savage, and then Ivan. Currently in 10th place and last. Here we go, back to the battle between Lucky Racer and Jagger. And Combined gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there.
When your back doesn't want to stay.
And here we go, Lucky Racer is all over the back of the Mercedes. Coming onto the straight now. Is he going to get past him? Here we go, coming onto the exit of the Parabolica. Lucky Racer gets some great traction, and he's going to pull over to the outside of the Mercedes of Vladimir Jagger. They are side by side on the pit straight, and Lucky Racer has easily got past the Mercedes of Vladimir Jagger. Into 3rd place he goes. Lucky Racer gets past the Mercedes, and into the podium places he goes. Vladimir Jagger would like to fight back though. He has got some really good traction now, the first chicane, and through the Curva Grande, here he goes. Jagger, he's got the slipstream now, and he's going to have a little look up the inside into the second chicane, and he's not quite gone for it there. Lucky Racer holds on to 3rd place. And Titan is slightly catching Agonza. The gap is 2.8 seconds. Jagger continues to hold on with Lucky Racer. And there is Titan out of the race there. Titan has retired from the race. He has crashed at Ascari. That is most of the DNFs have been there in Italy. And there's another one. Titan of Racing has gone. His the second retirement here in Italy. And that looks a shame because he was actually catching Agonza looking to win the race. Wesley will move up to 6th, so the new order for this race. Agonza leads by 6 seconds. Lucky Racer is P2 for Haas. Vladimir Jagger is P3, ahead of Combined in 4th. At the moment, Cryptox in 5th, and then Wesley, and then Ping Chuhai, and then Ivan, and then Savage. But currently, Combined is in the pit lane, and he's going to change onto the Inters. Easy set of Inters there. And I don't know what kind of stop it was, but he is really gone out behind Cryptox. It's going to be quite close to Wesley out of the pits. Wesley has come round the Parabolica and now onto the pit straight. As now here he goes. Wesley has got ahead of Combined out of the pits, but Wesley, of course, has not pitted. The top 5 have not pitted for the new intermediates. And Savage has not pitted either, so he's done 11 laps on Inters. But Agonza, Lucky Racer, Vladimir Jagger, Cryptox and Wesley have done 12 laps on the Inters. Through the final corner we go, starting lap 14 of this race. And Combined has really gained on Wesley, and he's going to have a nice battle with him maybe. Here we go, Combined has got the slipstream on the Ferrari of Wesley. Here he goes, coming down, and Wesley tries to break the slipstream. But Combined still continues, and he's going to dive up the inside into turn 1. They are going to be side by side through the chicane. Wesley has the inside line into the second part, and holds on to 5th place there. As now, here we go. Combined has a slipstream as it comes through the Curva Grande. Here he goes, coming through into the second chicane. Wesley continues to defend the inside line. Combined goes to the outside into the second chicane, and Combined goes around the outside into the second chicane, gets up into 5th place, gets past the Ferrari of Wesley. A very good move and a very good battle between Wesley and Combined there. So a very nice race between these two. Cryptox currently running in P4, but is not pitted yet for the new intermediate set. Lucky Racer has also not pitted, and he is still in 2nd place at the moment, and the gap between him and Agonza is only 3.7 seconds. So that's a pretty decent gap there for Agonza. And now Wesley is coming back at the Red Bull of Combined, coming down towards the Parabolica. Here we go, Combined is the inside line with some very good defending there from Combined. As now Wesley has a slipstream onto the pit straight once again. Here we go, is Wesley going to get slipstream in the battle for P5 between Wesley and Combined? Here he goes, the slipstream is there for Wesley, and he's going to go to the outside into turn 1. Combined defends very well once again and holds on to 5th place. A very good battle between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Now, coming down towards the Curva Grande, and Combined is slightly ahead of Wesley. He has stayed ahead of him. He has managed to defend from all the challenges he has given him. And Combined moves up into P5. Only 2 laps done on the inters. And Cryptox running 4th. He is going to pit for sure very soon. Lap 15 of this race. Wesley's keeping up with Combined at the moment on the tyres he has not pitted on yet, so that's quite interesting. As now here we go with Lucky Racer coming down into the Parabolica, and Lucky Racer comes into the pits now for the new intermediates, and Jagger's in as well. No, he isn't. Yeah, Jagger's in as well. Yep. I thought he wasn't for a sec, but it looked like he wasn't, but he is. Jagger has come in for the intermediates as well. The number 66 Mercedes has come in for the inters, and Lucky Racer has also gone on to the inters and has got out ahead of Jagger, way ahead there of Jagger. And Combined is going to be behind these two as well. Meanwhile, here is Ping Too High on the back of Cryptox. Ping has not had the greatest race today, after being involved in the incident with Ivan, of course, on lap 1. And he's going to try and go for a comeback through the field. Here we go. Ping is now on the slipstream of Cryptox coming down towards the straight and coming down towards turn 1. Is Ping going to go for the overtake on the Force India? Coming down into the first chicane. Here he goes, coming into the first chicane now. And here we go. Ping has just lost it there and is half spun. He has lost it on the turn 1 curb there, or he's either oversteered mid-corner or something like that. I don't know what has happened there. But Ping has just half spun there and has lost 3 seconds to Cryptox. So he'll have to do that all over again there. And Ivan has passed Wesley, as Wesley has finally come into the pits for his pit stop. And now Agonza comes into the pits. The race leader has come into the pits for the intermediates again. 25 seconds is the gap between Lucky Racer and Agonza. Let's see. This is going to be very close between Lucky Racer and Agonza, because Lucky Racer has gone onto the new inters 1 lap before. Actually no, not even 1 lap before, a few laps before, maybe 2 laps before Agonza pitted. So let's see, can Agonza stay out in the lead, or can Lucky Racer get ahead of him? Here he goes, Agonza is coming out the pit lane now, and there he is, staying ahead of the Haas, but Lucky Racer is much closer than he was before, definitely. 3 seconds was the gap before, and now it is just 1 second, 1.3 seconds now is the gap between first and second. And Jagger's only 3 seconds behind, so the battle for the lead is coming alive at the moment. Lucky Racer will be on for his 2nd win of the season after winning in the Hungarian Grand Prix, which of course does not have highlights because of those lack of POVs available for that race, unfortunately. But I can tell you that Lucky Racer did win that race. That was his home race. It was a very special moment
I don't know if
for
I
him.
should pit.
As now here is Ping challenging Cryptox once again. He is coming back at him. Is Ping going to finally overtake the Force India coming down towards turn 1? I don't think he will, because he is way too far back to go for that. For sure. Way too far back. You can't go for the move from that far back, to be honest. And Cryptox stays in P5 and Ping currently in P6. And Agonza has pulled away from Lucky Racer just a little bit there. And Cryptox has actually got past. Cryptox has actually let Ping through there by going into the grass on the Curva Grande. So that's quite interesting. And the DRS is not quite enabled yet, but Savage has gone onto the dry tyres. That's a really interesting gamble that Savage has made. He has nothing to lose, to be honest. Running in last place at the moment. But Savage has probably gone on too early to the super softs. Here we go, on board with Ping Too High. We have 3 laps remaining here in Italy, and the DRS has been enabled. So it's actually dry conditions right now, but I don't think there's any point to pit for the dry tyres at this stage, unless you're at the back, like Ivan. Ivan's pitted, and he's going to go onto the dry tyres. His inters were 22 laps old, so they are pretty old tyres. Ivan goes onto the super softs, just like Savage did. So they are at the back of the grid, so they don't matter really. Agonza still on the inters, so the main runners, top 5 let's say, will stay on the inters. Agonza, Lucky Racer, Vladimir Jagar, Combined, Ping, they will stay on the intermediates, because there's no point to go for the inters right now. Sorry, the dry tyres. No point to go for the dry tyres. Ping Too High now. 18 laps on these inters. They are actually wearing out right now, but still he is catching Combined, who's also had some worn out tyres, but he is 6 laps younger than the Saubers. The Combined tyres are 6 laps younger than the Sauber of Ping Too High, so Ping is still gaining on him for some reason. And Wesley's currently on the intermediate still, 7 laps has been run on them. As now the Haas of Ivan is actually right behind Agonza. Ivan is right behind Agonza, so he's actually unlapping himself, I guess, on the super softs. Meanwhile, Ping is within DRS range. Well, not quite actually, 1.2 seconds now. Ping is nearly within DRS range of the Red Bull of Combined. Now it's less than a second, so he's within DRS range now. Is he going to get the move into the straight here, coming down towards Ascari? He doesn't have DRS available. 1.1 seconds is the gap. So we have 2 laps remaining here in Monza. And Ping Too High is gaining on Combined really quickly. Ping Too High is on 19 laps, old inters. His tyres are definitely gone. But Combined's are also gone as well, clearly, because Ping is gaining on him quickly. This is going to be a nice fight to the end between last season's champion, Ping Too High, and the guy who has not won a single race in the 3 seasons so far combined. So he actually could have won in the Spanish Grand Prix. But here we go. Ping has DRS on the Red Bull of Combined. He is gaining on him very quickly. Ping goes to the outside, but Combined tries to brake very late. But he's going to cross the chicane. Combined is going to cross the chicane there. And that's going to bring Ping overtaking Combined there. Gets into 4th. Ping gets into 4th place in the Sauber. But now Combined is going to try and fight it back into the second chicane. And he actually backs out of it there into the second chicane. And now Ping has gone overshot it and has gone across the chicane as well. And gets a time penalty for good measure. So a very interesting battle on the last lap of the race. Ping is sliding all over the place on 20 laps now. Old intermediates. Meanwhile, here is Agonza round through the Parabolica, and he's going to come across the line. It's going to be his 8th victory of the season. It's a win for Agonza in the Italian Grand Prix. Lucky Racer comes across the line to score another podium in 2nd place. Vladimir Jagar has a nice comeback, 3rd place after starting 8th. And Combined is completely lost the car there and will not get Ping Chu Hai in the Sauber, who is going to cross the line in P4. A very good race between those two on the last lap, but it didn't quite work out for the Red Bull. Ping Chu Hai crosses the line after having 21 laps on those set of tyres. He has held on and finished in 4th place. Combined in P5 for Red Bull, an unfortunate race after starting from P3 and a mistake on lap 1. Cryptox crosses the line for P6 in the Force India. He did not actually have a bad race in the end in Cryptox, so congrats to him. He did not have a bad race, so that's been a while since he had a good race. Meanwhile, here we are. Ivan is the final finisher on the lead lap, as Wesley and Savage have already finished the race in 8th and 9th. Ivan comes into the Parabolica and going to cross the line for 7th place, 37 seconds back. And he's going to come across the line and he's going to get the fastest lap. Ivan got the fastest lap on those super soft tyres, but he has crossed the line for P7. So, that was a pretty decent Italian Grand Prix. And Agonza celebrates his 8th win of the season. And he is almost certainly going to win this championship in this season. Agonza holds up the trophy in celebration. The Red Bull driver scores, once again, repeating his 8th win of the season. That is probably the most that a driver has got in the season so far. And he hugs Lucky Racer and Jagger as well. Agonza takes the win. 1.1 seconds was the gap in the end, because Agonza had penalties. Lucky Racer got 2nd place for Haas. Vladimir Jagger started 8th and moved up to 3rd. A great comeback from him. Ping Chu Hai on 21 lap old inters finished 4th place, ahead of Combined in 5th place. A bad race for him. Cryptox in P6, a good race for him after a while. Ivan in 7th place and Wesley in 8th, ahead of Savage. They were both lapped. And the DNFs were Titan of Racing and Thaboom. And the championship standings after the Italian Grand Prix, we have Agonza leading by a total of 102 points from Vladimir Jagger in 2nd place. And the gap is 17 points between Lucky Racer and Vladimir Jagger, 2nd and 3rd. Lucky Racer is in P3, and Combined is in 4th, just 11 points behind Lucky Racer. Century's in 5th, he's no longer going to compete, but he is 5th, tied with Wesley's points in P6. Waltmaster in 7th place, he was the one who provided us with the spectator view, and he didn't start. He is continuing on 99 points. Ping Chu Hai finishes 4th, and he got 8th place. And Cryptox got ahead of Ventrox in the standings, 9th and 10th. Ivan in 11th with 44 points. Fajal and Addy, and then Savage and Rantix, and then Harry Tech, and then Thaboom in 17th place. So, hopefully you enjoyed that Italian Grand Prix. And it was a very eventful race. Nice battles in the race as well. And see you guys next time for the Singapore Grand Prix, the longest race on the calendar and probably the most challenging. So see you then for round 15.